in Meredith, and I'm an engineer here at Elevate. Before Elevate, I was really into backpacking ultralight on Appalachian Trail, Colorado Trail, Pikes Peak, stuff like that. Going out for days at a time, only taking what I needed in my backpack, ultralight gear, really put me into a good headspace to bring ultralight gear into Elevate when designing the stands, sticks, and camera arms, getting everything ready to go.
So the camera arm was kind of a passion project for me. I love to film, I love to self-film, and I used a bunch of different camera arms that are on the market, and I just really didn't like them. They were either too big, heavy, bulky, or they just, couldn't handle the camera that I was running. And so that's kind of where it took off, and I wanted to make a product that people would take in the field every single time, because if your camera arm's too heavy, then you're not going to want to take it. If the attachment system isn't just right, then you're not going to want to use it. And so that's kind of where it started.
So when we were designing the capture, the primary focus was to make it fold inside of itself so you can slide it into like a water bottle pouch or tuck it into the top part of your bag and it not take up much room. And it prevented your arms from being stacked on top of each other like some of our other designs that provide more strength but aren't necessarily as packable.
There's a lot of minimalists out there that maybe they don't carry a big pack in whitetail hunting, and so if it folds in on itself, you can find a pocket to stow it somewhere. First off, even before sending it out to people, we went through, I don't know how many versions of it. It was a lot, because there were things that we just could not get right on it.
When we were doing the capture, we went through 75 prototypes. Some of them ended up going to creators and other hunters to get tested and found small flaws. Some of them we thought we came up with something awesome, put it on the tree and immediately found out it wasn't what we thought it was going to be, or there was a major flaw that we overlooked and it got scrapped and we started back over from square one to find out another idea. So the capture comes in at 1.75 pounds. It's rated for a 6-pound camera, and that includes your fluid head, lens, anything that's actually going out on the end of the camera. The clutch is coming in at 1.9 pounds and rated for a 6-pound camera. The Clutch Pro comes in at 2.2 pounds and is rated for an 8-pound camera. So that's rated for bigger cameras for guys who want to use actual camcorders or big LED screens or something along those lines. As far as the base goes for adjustability on the clutch and the capture, they're exactly the same from about here back. So you have your tree adjustment point here, then you also have a bracket here with a spikes base. So you pull this pin out, you can move it forward or back. It's got 4 different spots. So if your tree is leaning forward or backwards, all you have to do is adjust this base, hold it up to the tree, spin your knob until this contacts the tree. Then that's when you would actually cam in your buckle strap, and that's when everything gets tight. So all 3 arms all function the same way there. So once you have one arm and you figure out how to do everything, get it set the way you want, you can set up all of our arms exactly the same, and it's no different for any of them. The nice thing about the capture versus the clutch is you can push this pin out and then this whole arm unfolds into itself. So now you've got your full arm, and then when you're done, you can fold it right back up. And it's about the same thickness as a water bottle and just slides into a water bottle pouch or somewhere else on your bag that it fits. So this is the clutch. This comes in with a 32-inch reach once it's fully extended. The nice thing about the clutch over the capture is you actually have the pivot point closer to the tree, so you can move the whole arm around. Makes it a lot easier. You can tighten and loosen this to make it a little bit stiffer for you to turn. You can also tighten and loosen each one of these joints, and that'll also help it tighten and loosen. If you really want it to be a fluid, loose camera arm, you can actually undo this, put Bose wax in between these bushings, and that'll make it really smooth. So another cool feature about the clutch is that if you decide that you wanted to purchase more bases separately, you can throw a base up in a tree in a spot that you always go to, and then you can take your fluid head and camera and just this arm. If you undo this bolt, you can take just that with you out of the tree, leave the base in the tree so you don't have to mess with it. You come back, slot it back in, and you're good to go. And that's good for both the Clutch and the Clutch Pro. The idea behind the clutch was to allow for a lot of strength, a lot of adjustability, and be able to wrap around the tree more and gave more movement of the camera. This was utilized the 3 arms. You could move the 3rd arm base closer to the tree and move your whole camera unit and system a lot more than you can on the capture.
So the clutch, I would say, would be a step up from the capture. You've got the clutch and the Clutch Pro. The clutch would be for the smaller cameras, whether it's a GoPro, cell phone, a small mirrorless. The Pro would be more for your, heavier lenses and cameras. It was also designed with saddle hunters in mind, to where you can wrap it completely around the tree. You can also take the base off from the arm, and so you put the base on first and then attach the arm to it. It also makes it easy to pack, because you can usually find a spot somewhere on your pack that will fold into.
So the Clutch Pro obviously has some bigger arms on it. This allows for a bigger camera. It's the same exact design except for the bigger arms as the Clutch is. So once you get the Clutch, if you wanted to use that for a GoPro or a smaller camera or a cell phone, that totally works. A lot of guys will end up getting the Clutch Pro just in case they do fall in love with self-film and they do want to eventually get a bigger camera, get better shots. They won't have to go out and re-buy another camera arm. This covers everything they need. It'll be sturdy all the way up to an 8-pound camera, so they're really good to go for anything. The Clutch Pro just makes for a really streamlined setup for any camera that you want to operate on.
So I run a Canon R5 Mark II. The body itself is pretty light, but the 70-200 lens that I run is not light. I run it on the Clutch Pro, and it's very smooth. It handles that kind of weight, perfectly. But you can also run a cell phone. You can run Handycam on either model. But if you're just going to take footage to show your buddies or to watch it on your TV at home, the Clutch, that's what I would recommend. And you can run anything from a GoPro to a mid-size camera.
So the advantage of an OCB buckle is that it allows you to get the camera arm tight without having to crank down on the actual adjustment bolt like some other camera arms do. So that allows you to adjust, and then the strap actually gets it tight. But unlike a ratchet strap, you don't have the ratcheting noise or anything. It's silent, which helps a lot when you're getting set up for a hunt. These are also completely made in-house in Kansas. Everything's produced in one building, from engineering, production, shipping, all done at our warehouse in Kansas.